if you already know what you want to do, then that's what you should go after, right? No time like the present, and we're not getting any younger, so you might as well just try it, right? However, how about for the folks that don't know? There's so many different options out there. What should you be focused on? Well, there's 5 different categories. The first one, let's just get into it. The first one is one that's going to make you some money, right? Are you really good at baking cookies, or you're good with arts and crafts and you can sell some of your wares on Etsy or Facebook Marketplace, or maybe you could sell your cookies and your cakes that you love to make to a local store that's willing to pick them up. Now, you're probably not going to be able to do that with a 7-Eleven or a Wawa if you're in the Philly region. But small stores might be very happy. Some bagel shop or something might be very willing to pick up your wares. YouTube driver, that's another possibility if you want to make some money. Did I just say YouTube? Uber driver, that's another possibility. That's going to make you some money, and you can do it when you feel like it, when you have some available time. YouTube channel, that's another possibility. This is only my second video, so I don't know if I'm ever going to make any money from this, but it's been fun learning. I've learned a whole lot of new things that I didn't know before. So that's a possibility too. So think about something that's going to make some money for you. Next category, something that's going to get you into better physical shape. That could be something as simple as deciding that you're going to walk every day for 20 minutes, or you're going to join a gym, or you always wanted to do ballroom dancing, or some other kind of dancing. There's lots of different hobbies in that category. Is there anything? Oh, hiking, do a marathon. I'm sorry, I had to check my notes. Pilates, that word scares me, actually. I'm not sure I would ever do Pilates just because the word's kind of scary. I'm not even quite sure what it is, but it looks like it wouldn't be good for me. However, anything else? Oh, Weight Watchers, joining Weight Watchers, or joining some kind of group that's going to help you lose some weight. So that could be a second category, something that's going to get you into better shape. The third category is some kind of a creative hobby, which is close to my heart. I love to write fiction. I wrote fiction for many, many years, got some short stories sold, and that's just quite a release. I remember talking to a lot of people back in the day when I was just beginning to do that. And I said, you should write. And they're like, I don't know what I would say. I have nothing to say. What would I say? Well, you might want to consider writing your memoirs. You don't have to be Ernest Hemingway. You just write stuff down for your kids, even better for your kids' kids. I would love to have had my father's father write me anything, even just a letter, just a letter. That's instead of memoirs, you could do a list, just do letters on the holidays, on their birthdays. I did that with my kids actually when they were little. In fact, I still have one that's going that I put the date when I wrote it on the envelope, and then I put 20 years later that they were to open it. And it's really kind of interesting because, believe me, you'll have forgotten things too. But anyway, writing memoirs, writing to your kids, writing short stories, writing poems, painting, music, some kind of maybe a new instrument that you've never had any experience with, or something that you did do. Maybe you played the flute back in junior high, and you thought, well, I still have that thing someplace, or you have a piano in the house that needs some tuning because it hasn't been played in a long time. Something creative. That's the third. Oh, photography. That's the other thing, photography. This is actually really big. I'm going to do more videos about specific hobbies, but photography apparently is one of the really, really big hobbies nowadays because everybody has a camera in their pocket, right? You don't have to buy any fancy equipment. You can just walk around the neighborhood and see if there's something that strikes you as different or exciting. Take pictures of your kids. Take pictures of your grandkids, your pets. Please don't take pictures of your meals. Okay, I think we've all seen enough pictures of people's meals, unless they're meals that you made personally. That I would make an exception for. But stuff you're buying at a restaurant, we all know it's good. Oh, singing. That's another one. Singing. I used to do that too a long time ago. A long time ago. Fourth category. Get a hobby to build knowledge. Now for me, I'm learning Italian, right? As I mentioned earlier, I'm fluent in Spanish. I'm very conversant in Portuguese, and I've always wanted to learn Italian. So I'm learning Italian, but pick a subject, any subject. Something that you've always been interested in, the constellations, and if that, for instance, let's say you want to study the stars, right? Then not only do you learn about the stars, but that can then be destination places for you. Where's the best places within a 10, 15 mile radius of where you live to look at the stars? If you live out in the countryside, you've got it made because you've got a blanket of stars. But if you live in the suburbs of Philadelphia, you don't. You only have a few. So you have to go to places where there's not a lot of light being generated from people. Same thing with studying birds. A million years ago, I spent a year in Costa Rica, junior year abroad, which is where I got fluent in Spanish. And Costa Rica is apparently the number one place in the Western Hemisphere to go bird watching because they get the birds from North America that are flying south and they get the birds from South America that are flying north. And in Costa Rica, which is in Central America, and it's not an island, that's Puerto Rico. Costa Rica is in between Panama and Nicaragua. It's a very safe country. In fact, they don't even have an army. They call it the Switzerland of the Western Hemisphere or something. But anyway, great place to go bird watching. Whatever, maybe you've always wanted to be able to fix a car. Maybe you've always wanted to be able to learn how to whittle. It could be anything, something that makes you learn new things. You could join a book club. You could start your own book club. Anything else? Oh, be the historian of your county seat. That was my suggestion. But there's probably somebody that knows all about the history of where you live, your little place where you live. There's somebody, a couple of somebodies who know a whole lot about the history. Well, if that's something that you've always been interested in, talk to them. See if they could use your volunteer services. Learn new things. That was the fourth category. Fifth category, this is to get a hobby to evolve your philosophy. Get a hobby to evolve your philosophy. It's like to change your point of view. That means it could be studying religions. It could be meditation. It could be going back to church. It could be studying philosophers. Something that's going to change your attitude. What do I have down here for that? I have volunteering at a food bank. Well, there you go. You don't have to study Socrates to volunteer at a food bank, or a homeless shelter, or a blood bank, or a veterinarian hospital. Teaching English to immigrants. There's, at least where I come from an urban area, so there are certainly nonprofit organizations that you can get involved with on a volunteer basis to help new arrivals. And meditation I have down here is visiting churches, temples, mosques, to experience new religions. So anyway, so they're the 5 categories. 1 is money, 2 is creative, 3 is hold on, give me 1 second. 3 is get a creative hobby. The creative hobby. 4 is build your knowledge, and 5 is do something to change maybe your perspective or your attitude. I would love to hear what you have been thinking about, what you're planning on doing, or what you're thinking about doing. Please leave a comment down below so that I know who's listening to me and what you're interested in. Because like I said, I am going to do some videos about specific hobbies. Like gardening is probably going to be one. Because supposedly gardening is the #1 hobby for everybody in the United States. Whatever you think, boy, I really wish she would research and do a little bit more investigating about X. Let me know. Leave a comment. And subscribe, please. I would appreciate that. And I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for visiting with me.